if you're like me, you're gonna get a little angry. You're gonna get frustrated because you're gonna realize, what the heck? Why are people not taught this? So I was in the library studying, and I went on to Google, and I searched the richest people in America. And you see people like Steve Jobs, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg. And I was like, none of these people are doctors. None of these people went down that traditional route of getting a degree, doing a good job. Am I missing something? Because I thought that if you go to school, get a good degree, you can make a lot of money. And if you work harder in school, get better grades, you'll make even more money. So I thought it was just directly correlated. Your grades, your income. And that's when I started questioning things. And I realized, maybe this isn't right. And as you start to go down deeper and deeper down the rabbit hole, you start to realize, oh my God, everything that I've been told is a lie. So now I'm starting to go down this financial education journey. And the more I learned, the more I realized I was lied to. Like, we're taught to go to school, to get a degree, to get a job, so we can then get a job and climb the corporate ladder. Well, wealthy people don't do that. Wealthy people are not working to climb the corporate ladder, they're working to own the corporate ladder. I didn't even realize that you could do that. Now, you can climb the corporate ladder and work to own the corporate ladder at the same time, but it's a different mindset, right?
Right.
Most of us are taught to get that degree so we can do one thing, climb the corporate ladder, earn a bigger salary. But if you only rely on your salary, you're just one step away from being broke. This is crazy. Why was I never taught this? I was never taught about wealth. I was never taught about investing. I was never taught about this sort of financial education. But why aren't we taught this? And that's when I realized it's very profitable to keep people financially uneducated. It's profitable to keep people poor. The banks profit when you're financially uneducated because they'll keep you saving money in the bank. They'll keep you in consumer debt. If the banks lived by their own advice, which is save money, the banks would be losing money. When you go and deposit $1,000 in the bank, that cash that you deposited is a liability for the bank. An asset is something that puts money in your pocket. A liability is something that takes money away from your pocket. So when the bank has your cash, it's a liability for them. They want to get rid of it as fast as possible. And the way they do that is by lending it out because it's an investment for the bank. They don't want to hold on to cash, but they want you to save your money. And what's happening to your cash while it's there? It's losing value to inflation each and every day. Every day that you keep your cash in the bank, you're becoming poorer each and every day. And so now when you keep your cash in the bank is paying you 0.01%, maybe 0.5% if you're lucky, and they're turning around lending it for 5%, 6%. And so the bank does not want to keep that cash in savings because it's a liability for them. They want to keep you spending money on their credit card because now they'll get to earn 18 to 25% in interest every time you spend $1.
Wow.
Governments want you to be financially uneducated because when you're financially uneducated, guess what? You are an employee and you're a consumer. Who pays the highest taxes? Employees and consumers. Everybody knows that rich people don't pay taxes. It makes people angry, but a lot of times we don't understand why.
Right.
And we get angry at the wrong things and the wrong reasons. There's a lot of things that you can do legally to pay less money in taxes, and there's different ways that you can invest your money that pay less money in taxes. So I'll give you a couple examples.
Yeah.
Let me start with this. Tax avoidance and tax evading are two similar words with two very different outcomes. This is one of the first things that you learn in law school. Tax evading is illegal.
Yes.
You go to jail.
Yes.
Tax avoiding is legal, and then you get hated for doing that. But this is the way it works.
But you're playing within the rules of the system.
And if you learn the IRS code, it's a rule book. And the people who understand the rule book are the people who have the money to hire the good accountants and the good attorneys. Assume that you have either some sort of your own income, you're a side hustler, or you are a business owner.
Yes.
So if you make $500,000, let's assume that's profit. You are taxed on income. So if you take out a salary, that's going to be taxed. Now the question is, what is a tax deduction? Or the better question is, how can you make something a tax deduction? Because anything can be a tax deduction if you know how to make it a deduction. So that's the question that you have to ask yourself, because if you don't have an income, you don't have any tax.
Right.
So this is what wealthy people are doing. So I'll give you an example of it being done, then I'll show you how people can do it on a potentially smaller scale. Elon Musk, he's probably the biggest example of this. He never got paid a salary running and owning Tesla. he got paid in stock options. So these stock options were
Was
issued
this
to him.
even before it was public?
This is, I think it was around the time that it was public, or maybe a little bit before.
Okay.
But he's been getting stock options for a long time.
Sure.
But the stock options that he gets, or originally got, were at $6 a share. So when the stock went up to $1,000 a share, and he was given millions of these stock
Right.
options, now he has on paper a lot of money, but that money isn't in his bank account. So what he does is, instead of selling it and having an income, he goes to the bank and says, hey, I have these stock options which are worth billions of dollars. How about you give me a loan at 3, 4, 5% interest? No bank is going to say no to that, because the value of this is so much, it's billions of dollars. I mean, you can make the number smaller, but no bank is going to say no. He takes that loan, pays 3 to 4 to 5% interest on it, and if his company grows, his stock value grows by 6%, he just made a profit on that. He didn't have to take any money out, never took an income, doesn't pay any taxes, and is able to now spend his money, live free, buy whatever he wants, live rich, and not pay a penny in tax. You just need to know the right strategies that can work for you. And these things change over time, which is why the best thing that you can do is go out and hire a tax accountant, a tax advisor, somebody that isn't just gonna file your taxes, but someone that's gonna help guide you and say, all right, here are some things that you could potentially spend your money on. Here are where there are more benefits coming this year, next year, things that you want to do. And so there's going to be times where it's going to be more beneficial for you to spend money. There's going to be times where it's going to be more beneficial for you to take in money. And it's all a game.
Yeah.
And this is what wealthy people understand. It's all a game. And a lot of people hate that, oh, this person's not paying taxes, that person's not paying taxes. But at the end of the day, what you have to remember is somebody else wrote the tax code.
Yeah.
All that people are doing is they're trying to learn, okay, this is what the tax code is, what do I do? And then you kind of get into the other philosophical questions. Who's gonna do better with 100 grand, the government or me? If I have 100 grand in my pocket, I can go hire an employee or two. The government's gonna, spend that money wherever they spend it, and pennies will end up actually going to help people. I'm all for helping people. I think that's very important. And the government always talks about how we have this huge student loan epidemic, this huge student loan problem. But the number one asset on the United States balance sheet are student loans.
Really?
This blew my mind. You go to Google, search this, the assets on the United States balance sheet, number one asset. You'll see student loans are their number one asset. So on one hand, we have people talking about the importance of higher education, the importance of going into debt to get your degree. And then at the same time, that's your number one asset. It's holding so many people back from buying a home, from living their lives, from doing things, investing their money, yet at the same time, it's keeping the government rich.
Wow.
This is where, that mindset, you have to start thinking a little bit differently and start asking questions to the status quo, to the system, to the way things are done. And if you're like me, you're gonna get a little angry. You're gonna get frustrated because you're gonna realize, what the heck? Why are people not taught this? Why are we not taught how to use our money? Because nowadays, people are paying 50 grand a year to get a good college degree, but at the same time now, YouTube is decentralizing education.
Free.
For free. And you can learn from anybody you want. If you don't like the way that I sound, hit the X button, go to somebody else, right?
Exactly.
And it doesn't cost you a penny. You can learn from anybody, people who are actually doing what they teach, and you can learn in the comfort of your home.